good.
Oh, hey, Matt.
It's finally here. We're in November.
Dude, it's fucking here.
And
we're rocking.
Let me tell you, quick spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Because I watched the first 3 seasons of Bob's Burgers live, for sure.
Yeah.
And this, I think I've said this before, this was like one of those shows where I feel like I missed a season, I blinked, and next thing I knew there was like 15 seasons of the show.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, guess I'll never get caught up on Bob's Burgers. I was like, I can't believe this time of the year, like where we save like the absolute nostalgic heavy hitters, you're starting with a Bob's Burger episode. We're doing Bob's Burger season 4, episode 8, Christmas in the Car. But I'm throwing my prediction out there.
Yeah.
Did you pick this episode because it's the first episode after Halloween and it has that infamous tree meme?
So two things. One, to not bury the lead. Yes.
Because as soon as that happened, I laughed and I was like, that smart son of a bitch.
I figured that would be right up your alley. Bob's Burgers is a show that every time I end up watching an episode, I sit there and go, why have I not watched all of this yet?
Yeah.
Because it is really good.
There's just
at least
so much of it
earlier
out there.
Stuff.
There's so
there is.
much
I
of
think
it out
there's
there.
like 9 seasons in a movie.
There's 15 seasons.
15?
There's
Good
15.
God. Oh my God. You could rock through this. And we'll get back to talking about Bob's Burgers in a second, but I just want to make a comment. I meant to do this last episode on the state of streaming, because Jesus Christ, I really miss that time period where when you paid a premium and you weren't being bombarded by ads every 3 minutes of an episode. Like, there was a time, folks, when Hulu, to like just watch a couple episodes, was free.
Yeah.
And they hit you with this amount of ads. Now you're paying, like, I don't even know what Hulu's up to at this point, which is pretty bad because we pay it every month.
I'm paying $20 a month for full ad-free Hulu at this point.
And I can't do that.
It used to be $9.99 was the ad-free version of Hulu. It's doubled its price in a decade.
Yeah, so I'm still doing $9.99. I cannot fathom spending that plus the other streaming services that I also would like to have in my repertoire.
So the way that I've done it is like Hulu I utilize a lot. Like Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus are probably the 3 that I use the most often. So those are the ones where I'm willing to go for like the higher level to get rid of those ads. But like something like Peacock or Paramount Plus, where like I'm only using it every couple months for like specific TV show drops. I'm like, fuck it, whatever the cheapest option is, and it's like $4.99. It's like, great, that's a set it and forget it. Don't even think about it. Like,
but then that shit pisses me off too. And this is gonna get like real specific.
Yeah, because that shit should be free if I have to sit through 2 minutes of ads every time that I'm watching it.
And with fucking Peacock, this is again getting very specific. If you're watching a WWE pay-per-view, for you wrestling fans out there, I do remember, like, yes, pay-per-views cost a lot, but you did get to watch the fucking promos in between matches. You weren't just like, hey, for you premium subscribers, you're going to get to see how we got here. For the rest of you, here's fucking 5 minutes of ads. Like,
yeah.
It's really unfortunate. And it really stands out, especially when you're watching a 20-minute cartoon like Bob's Burgers. We had 4 ad breaks in 21 minutes, and it was absolutely insane.
Well, so I will say the following things out the gate with this.
Yes.
First off, it's been so long since I watched Bob's Burgers, I didn't even recognize the theme. I'm like, I know that I must have heard this a million times. It did not register to me at all.
That like I feel like it's a ukulele.
Yeah, it's like a ukulele or something. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
It works.
Yeah.
But the other note that I wrote, and I know that this is part of the point, the note that I wrote said, man, it's been a while since I've watched this show, but dear God, I forgot how annoying his family can be. And like this episode is like, and I found his family to be like charming, like I guess here's where this episode, and I liked this episode a lot. This is not me complaining about the episode, but like,
because this is like, yes, that's where I was getting. Yes, I did pick this because it was the first episode after Halloween. But my second thing is I'm shocked that I haven't picked this episode before. Because as you said, yes, this is the time of year where we get into our nostalgia picks and stuff like that. Matt Kelly, you just said it yourself. There's 15 seasons of this show. This episode came out 11 years ago.
Yeah, it's old. It's a decade old.
So this is definitely like, this fits in. No, It's not one of my super early nostalgia picks, but this is definitely an episode that I watch at least once a season since it's come out. Mainly because of that beginning, and it just makes me chuckle because I see so much of ourselves in Lynn.
No, for
what
sure.
She's feeling.
Here's where my complaint is with his family, and this could be that I'm like misremembering Bob's Burgers, but like I remember like his kids are annoying and Lynn's got like a nasally voice and all that, but like I feel like this is like one of the episodes where it's like no, but you guys are there also in the car and are seeing what's happening. Like, why are you not taking this seriously? And that's like what was getting me so frustrated. Because normally it's like Bob is annoyed by like a minor inconvenience and they like make it worse. But it's like, no, this guy driving the candy cane truck is literally riding their tail while he's going 90 miles an hour on an icy road. Like, y'all should appreciate that this is bad. You're in a bad situation. So I was getting so frustrated that they were like, wanting to just like stop and get lunch and stuff when he's like, and like it's like that frustration of like, but there is literally a ham in the oven. Like if nothing else, like Lynn, you should know how dangerous this is to leave the oven on in your house this long. Like I was getting so frustrated.
So this happens in other episodes as well. I think in the first season, Bob, to escape his in-laws, hides out in the wall of the restaurant.
I love the episode where Bob's stuck
in the wall. It's so fucking good. But it's a very similar situation. I feel like everybody's acting like it's not a big deal, and they're just like Bob's kind of facing natural consequences for hiding out in the wall.
Yeah.
I think the family heads down this route a lot. More often than not, I agree, where he's like, they understand the seriousness of the situation. This one I chalk up to them being blinded by the Christmas spirit, my friend. They just want to have a good Christmas.
Few moments where I was getting annoyed where I was like, I would not be as calm and collected as Bob is.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, no, we're not doing that. This guy's trying to kill us. Our oven is on at our tiny apartment. Like, we need to get home.
There is one bit before I kick off the episode. There is one bit where Lynn's like, "Let's tickle him. He's a grumpy Gus. Let's tickle your father. Kids, I'll tickle your father." And they're driving on an icy road,
and Bob's like, "You cannot tickle the driver." I'm like,
as frustrating as it can be, Bob's reactions to the insanity that's happening around him, and H. John Benjamin in general, who's an absolute legend at this point. It's just, I can't help but chuckle at it. It's so fucking good.
I mean, that's like all of the show. This is going to sound like a diss, but I don't mean it to, which is like so much of this show is not necessarily funny lines, but incredible delivery of regular lines. And like something like early on in that was, so it starts off with Lynn putting up the Christmas tree. And Bob,
on November 1st.
On November 1st, and Bob making a comment, and then it's him throwing out the Christmas tree because it's died, and then him calling her out for putting up the Christmas tree again on Thanksgiving, and then it cuts to him throwing out that tree again, and it's Lynn, and she goes, "It's Christmas Eve and our tree is dead," and then Luis just goes, "Where's our presents going to be without no tree?" And it's like the back and forth between those two things, like on paper, it's Christmas Eve and our tree is dead. Where's our presents going to be without tree is not a particularly funny back and forth, but the delivery and the annoyance of both of those voices makes it like laugh out loud funny.
I could watch the opening of this episode just on a loop. Like it just makes me giggle so hard because I get this meme sent to me. Like, and I'm sure you come across it often as well.
Listen, because this is already going to be the fact when this episode comes out. Because this is coming out on November 4th.
Yeah.
Barb's kids will be with their dad November 1st, 2nd,
that's
and
right.
3rd.
We talked about this.
And we have every intention of, by the time they come back that Monday, the day that this episode comes out, it will already be a Christmassy winter wonderland inside of our house.
Yeah.
Well, so yes, like this meme, I live and breathe it. Like
Yes.
You and I have both talked about this. I'm already prepared. We're recording this before Halloween. I am quite literally prepared for the second, like maybe 10 p.m. on Halloween night, I'm shifting over to Black Christmas to start getting into that Christmas mood.
And I usually do Krampus. I usually do Trick or Treat, and then we watch Krampus to do the Michael Dougherty marathon.
Yeah, you really like. There is this thing where I'm like, I am ready. I'm like, I had a conversation with my sister last night at a Halloween party where she was like, I think I hit the fall vibes too early, because she's like, I'm just ready for Christmas now.
Yep.
Like she's like, I'm like geared up, like. She's like, I'm excited that there's like only another week of me doing spooky stuff. And then it's just like she's like, if not for my daughter's birthday party in early November, I would absolutely be like decorating the house for Christmas. Like as soon as Halloween's over. And I'm like, yes, you're one of us. You're one of us.
We just had that conversation before we started recording. So we usually host Thanksgiving. So we have both of our families come here.
Yeah.
And Teddy goes, do you want to have the house decorated for Christmas? And I was like, semi.
Yeah.
I was like, kind of. I'm not going the full Lynn route. I don't want to have my tree up yet.
Oh, see, I'm putting the tree up. But here's the problem, Lynn. This is coming from us now. You know what would have saved this whole thing? A fake fucking tree.
A fake fucking tree, you idiot.
Here it is, guys. Welcome to my hometown's video store.
Sweet, I didn't even know these still existed.
Well, they haven't had a new release since like 2004, but it's still standing. Why don't you guys look around and rent something? It's on me.
Okay, I'm done.
What?
I got the best of 1987, RoboCop, Lethal Weapon, and Predator.
Predator's good, but Predator 2 is better.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, all those old action films, the sequels are better. RoboCop 2, Predator 2, Highlander 2.
Can't argue with Highlander 2.
Do they have any anime?
Yep, if you look, it's right over there.
That's like 5 tapes.
Yeah, welcome to the Midwest.
Steve, what are you renting?
I'll probably rent some bad sci-fi. Maybe something with Will Smith.
Nice. Get some Tim Burton Planet of the Apes while you're at it.
Isn't that the one where you wanted to bang the girl monkey?
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brad.
We are a VHS podcast that breaks down the box art, trailers, and behind the scenes. Do you miss the old days before the internet when you only talked about the films you watched with your friends? We watch these old tapes and look for cool trailers, bizarre promos, and break them down for your entertainment.
If you like sweaty action movies, crappy sci-fi, or schlocky horror films and hate reading, listen to Analog Jones.
Sometimes we even do research and get our facts right on these old movies.
Even if we don't, it's on the internet. It's facts now.
So search for Analog Jones and find us at anything that plays podcast.
So this episode kicks off with them putting the tree up, or Lynn putting the tree up on November 1st. They get rid of that tree. They put she puts another tree up on Thanksgiving. That tree catches fire twice. So they have to take that one out. And they're stuck going to the tree farm on Christmas Eve.
And
then chaos ensues.
Well, there's a reoccurring quote. It's another one of the quotes I wrote down. Was Bob says, "We can't go out there. I have a ham in the oven."
Yes.
and why am I blanking on the oldest daughter?
Tina.
And Tina goes, "Well, you have to fart?" He goes, "No, like I literally have a ham in the oven." And that like becomes a thing like 3 more times when he mentions the ham in the oven. They're like, "Just let it out, Dad." Like shit. I'm gonna start using that. That's just very funny.
There's a ham and I gotta step away. There's a ham in the oven.
Yeah, but they're then the other line that comes up pretty shortly after that made me laugh is they're listening to the radio for all the Christmas music, and the DJ says, "I'm gonna be playing all your Christmas favorites and even some that nobody likes."
Yeah. And it's very, very true. And I like that mixture of bad Christmas music as well. We'll sit here and I will rage against certain songs, but you know, sometimes they come on and I'm like, I'm going to let this play. I'm gonna hate every minute of it, but I need to sit here and let
I'm gonna say some fighting words, and I might inspire you to actually do this year.
Yeah.
But speaking about bad Christmas songs, the fact that we've been doing this show as long as we have, and you still haven't done an episode dedicated to Crabs for Christmas, is like psychotic to me, because that was like one of the first things you introduced me to on this podcast.
I think it's because I know I'm gonna have to sit down and do like dedicated research for it, so I just like pushed it off. I'm sure there's some fucking history of Crabs for Christmas and shit. So
nope, just a beloved hit.
Don't worry, it's coming.
But that's like the chunk of this episode, because them getting the tree is like a nothing.
Yeah, no, they show up. They show up at the Christmas tree lot.
Fast.
Yeah, they show up at the Christmas tree lot. All the Christmas trees that are left are like three, not honestly, they weren't bad looking trees. They weren't super awful compared to like a Charlie Brown tree. I do love the part where Lynn goes, "Can you turn it around?" And Gene or Luis goes, "Mom wants to see its tree butt." Yeah. Gene goes, "Everybody has their thing. I'm more of a branch guy."
But
so that's go ahead.
But most of the episode is as they're leaving.
Yes.
Bob gets stuck in the snow because he hasn't put snow tires on, because that was going to be Lynn's Christmas gift, was him putting snow tires on the car.
Because I didn't expect to be driving in the snow on Christmas Eve.
But it turns into this like recreation of the movie Duel between Bob and a candy cane truck, where this candy cane truck is like driving erratically and basically pissed off that Bob cut him off at one point.
I love when they get cut off and they're stuck and like the candy cane truck's honking and Lynn is sitting there screaming, "Stop honking in my family!" Yeah. And then starts pressing the fucking horn. Yeah. And he's, "Jingle bells, jingle bells." One of my favorite lines is Bob, because I'll do this all the time. I'll be like, "Do you hear that?" And I'll start tapping a tune, but I'm only hearing the tune because I'm humming it in my head.
Yeah.
I love that Bob goes, "He's just hearing honking, Lynn."
And then we'll jump to the end for a second, but we do finally see the guy who's driving it, and it's voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, which is so fucking funny. Perfect tie into last week's episode. Yep. And he makes me laugh so goddamn much in this episode because he's so obnoxious. But we have to talk about, they stop the car to get away from him because he's chasing them down so much. Yeah. And I forget even why they go into the restaurant in the first place, but that's when...
Oh, because Gene has to pee.
Gene has to pee.
They pull off, and Gene's like, "I didn't pee myself. Oh my God, I'm getting excited. I gotta pee." Yeah. Some shit like that. I'm sure I'm off.
But they get in there, and then Lynn sees that they have Dutch babies available.
Have you ever had a Dutch baby?
I have not.
Neither have I. I don't even know what this is.
I don't know what it is, honest. But she's like, "Dutch babies." But he's like, "It takes 25 minutes to make. And like, we need to get home."
There's a ham in the oven, Lynn.
Yeah, they do the ham in the oven bit again. Yeah. But then she takes the Dutch baby to go.
Dude, the Dutch baby line when fucking Luis, what is it? What's a Dutch baby? About $2,000 less than an American baby.
Yeah. Well, there's that line, and then as like a Christmas gift to the truck driver, he's like, "I had to drive this thing to a Christmas Eve parade, and now I got to drive all night to get it to a Christmas Day parade." But like, they give him the Dutch baby, and he just starts eating it immediately. He goes, "Man, this is really good. You can barely even taste the baby."
It's just such a good callback. It's really weird how many funny lines they get out of this Dutch baby joke.
They get it because they shouldn't be able to make it work this much.
No, they do it earlier as well. I did it before we were recording because the Dutch baby does not take 25 minutes. It takes 22 minutes to come out. And Lynn just looks at it and goes, "Oh, little preemie, like baby Jesus."
Yeah.
So let's talk about the B plot, which is the kids trying to kidnap Santa Claus.
Yes.
So throughout the entire episode, all three of the kids are trying to kidnap Santa Claus. They've rigged the fridge to trap Santa's hand so he can't get away, and they'll catch him. Well, Bob calls Teddy, one of their other people that live in the apartment, one of their best friends, to come over and take the ham out of the oven. And Teddy's kind of an idiot. So I love when he's explaining to Teddy he just needs to go and turn the oven off. And Teddy's like, oh, I'm not really that good of a cook. It's okay, Teddy. I just need you to take the oven out of the oven. Okay, what do you need me to do? Turn the knob to off. Whoa, hold on. That's a lot of steps. Let me get a pen. And he's like, what's that? OFF off.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But then he walks in there and he goes, this is all I had to do? Why did Bob make it so complicated?
Yeah.
But
Teddy's distracted by the cookies. He starts eating cookies, says, I need some milk, opens up the fridge, and then he is trapped by the Santa trap.
He's trapped by the Santa trap, and it keeps cutting back to him because he's trapped inside the fridge, so he's freezing cold.
Yes.
From it. And he also, well, this is the bigger thing. This is where he specifically asks Bob, hey, you never called me about the Christmas card. Did you get it?
Yeah.
So when he walks into the house, he sees the unopened Christmas card on the table. And then in an attempt to try to reach the knives, he's like, all right, let me just act like I'm moving this fridge and I can move close enough to the knives to cut myself free. And instead, the fridge topples on top of him. Yeah. So the family finally comes home and their fridge is laying on top of their friend Teddy. And Bob offers to help pick it up. And he's like, first open your card. He's like, card, then fridge. And then he opens the card and it just says Meowie Christmas.
Yeah, with a picture of a cat on it. I like when the fridge first falls on top of Teddy and he's like, I'm gonna die looking at Luis's finger paintings.
Yeah.
What is this even supposed to be?
Oh,
that's what this show is. It is just, it's fun line. There's so many quotables, and it is kind of throughout the series. This show is one of those shows that weirdly makes me think of Christmas because this is the main episode that I've seen so much. I don't think I've seen any of the other Christmas episodes because this isn't the first one.
Yeah.
Which is wild because this is the one that kind of got popular because of those opening scenes.
Yeah.
But man, this is a Christmas episode that I watch on a yearly basis, usually right after Halloween. I got to squeeze it in a little bit before, and I'll probably watch it again as the season kicks off. But it's strangely up there with things like Always Sunny and Community for me, of things that I just, like a modern Christmas classic in my eyes. 11 years ago, man, it's fucking wild that this was 2013. And it's also wild that 2013 itself was 11 years ago.
Yeah,
dude.
I don't love remembering that.
Yeah.
But Dylan, it's finally here, man. We're in
it's
the
finally
Christmas
here.
season.
We're in the midst of it. Yeah.
We're Christmasing it up for the next 2 months. Some of our absolute like must-have Christmas memories and pieces of pop culture and media for the next 2 months, buddy, and I'm so excited.
Heck yeah. So, and just to like get people hyped up for later on, we've got a pretty loaded year of new things coming out, things dropping.
Boy, do we. This is like the busiest year of new content since we've done this show, I think.
Which is awesome because we talked about it a little bit before, but we're going to be watching those as we go. You're going to get all of those episodes coming out after the Christmas season.
Yeah, January, February, maybe we might even stretch out to March with how much new stuff has been announced. So
heck yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming out. We're going to try to run the gamut of it all, good and bad. But yeah, for the next 2 months, you're getting like full-blown nostalgia picks from us, heavy hitters, things that honestly we are shocked that we haven't talked about before, and I cannot wait to discuss them with you, buddy.
Yeah. And it's been 10 months, but it's finally time for our November-December sign-off. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Ah, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Whoa, 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 now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy holiday, have a great, great, great
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.